¿Qué lo que hay, mi gente? Welcome to Let's Hablar podcast, brought to you by Hablemos Productions. Vamos a hablar. Welcome, everyone, to Let's Hablar podcast. I am Maya Ladies, and we're joined today by a very special guest, a friend of mine, Josh from Gorp Show. How are you doing?
Hi.
Hi,
Yeah, hi,
Josh.
Josh. Nice to be on your show. Thank you so much. Happy to be here. Big fan.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm from Gorp Show, which is under the Sad Fan. It's all one word. You can find us on YouTube. There's a link tree. Blah blah blah. My show is Gorp though, and that's where we kind of just talk about topics a lot like you guys, but we have a dumb gimmick that we barely use. We're just a grab bag of topics, but
Yes.
yeah, that's about it. We just goof around.
It's definitely fun. I've been a guest on your show a few times. I really, really do enjoy when I get to go. It's different. It's a lot different, and you add a whole another element to the show, and I really dig your personality.
Thank you.
And then of course we have Clara.
Clara. Hi, guys. I don't have anything special to say about myself. I just have 4 kids.
That's a lot.
And she's been married for pretty much almost my whole life, so over 20 something years.
24 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely different. We're going to be talking about breakups. Can you be friends with your ex, and what is a healthy breakup? Kai couldn't be with us today, but we all know her stance since part 1. She said that she does think you can be friends with some of your exes, not all of them. At least you can be cordial. Now, mine is a no. I don't think that you can be friends if it's a certain type of relationship. If it's one there was never any physical intimacy, anything along those lines, yeah, sure. You can probably be Facebook friends or social media friends. But other than that, I don't know. What's your opinion, Josh?
I say the same. Sometimes depends on the situation, depends on the person. Mostly, I'm a bridge burner. If we were in a relationship that was for real, or at least I thought it was for real, and maybe someone got hurt, or it's just for some reason it's an angry breakup. It's not very often I have mutual breakups, but in those cases, usually I'm probably never going to talk to you again. You're blocked. You're out. Like, we're done. If we have the same friends, that's okay. If I see you, that's okay. But we're
It's
done.
not like you're going to keep that relationship with that person. You'll see each other when you see each other, but
yeah, there'll be zero cultivation. Like,
right.
I'm not going to be over there anymore. I'm going to be over here. I'm doing something else. And it's like, I move a lot, so that has been the reason why I've broken up with some people, and that's just been like, okay, well, we're not doing long distance. I've done long distance too many times for it to be any. There's zero chance, in my opinion, that long distance works. So I just cut it short. Those, it's come and gone. Maybe we are still friends, maybe not. Maybe it's just like whatever. I only have like 2 or 3 actual friends, actual ex-girlfriend friends though. And that was situations where either I moved or the relationship didn't get to that chapter of really, really serious yet. It was just kind of like not sure if it was for one reason or another. It just kind of fizzled or whatever. That's very unique to the situation though. You know what I mean? So you always got to leave that chance open for maybe we can still be friends. But I say probably not, dude. Like the main thing is that I usually, when I'm in a relationship, I give like all my power towards building that relationship. And, you know,
once
I
it's
can't
done,
do
it's
that
like done.
to the next. Yeah. I can't give my next girlfriend all that attention and focus and power and then still like talk to you. I'm not talking to you.
Yeah. There's boundaries, there is boundaries. And some of us don't know. My perspective is that I agree with the both of you to an extent when it comes to either having that seriousness in the relationship, and or if it was physically intimate, not just because intimacy comes in many ways, but when a relationship, I think, ends without our ego being involved, I think we can be friends. If you do end the relationship on good terms, hey, you know what? Either we fell out of love, or like in your case, a lot of it was long distance relationships. If neither one of us can put in 100%, or we're not going to be patient with each other and wait to see each other, or you know, I feel that that has a lot to do with the fact that people cannot be friends because we allow our emotions and our ego to kind of take over and be like, no, I just don't want to have nothing to do with this person because this person did mean so much to me. Not only was like my best friend, but was so many other things to me that I don't think I can have them in my life anymore. Especially if there is another person in my life now that, like you said, I have to give 100% to, you know?
Mhm.
Right. That last part is yeah, because like they were the caregiver, or they're the one I talk to this person about specific this one topic, and or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
yeah,
filled roles in your life that they no longer have. So where's that relationship supposed to go?
yeah,
Not too
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why for me it's really, really hard to even because there's my first boyfriend, I guess he would be like the first real relationship that I had was
mhm,
for like a year and a half. And when we have an uncle who passed away, we knew he was sick. We knew that eventually it would happen, but we just didn't know when. And it was kind of like all within a couple of days. He was
Hmm.
there for me. So, like, that was the person that I needed at that time.
mhm.
And he was there to be able to kind of like check on me. Are you okay? I know that this just happened and whatever. Time went through. We broke up. I couldn't delete his family from my Facebook because I felt
Mm.
like that would be wrong. I've developed a relationship with his family. They were all super supportive and there for me in a time when I needed someone. And so I kept everybody. I kept him, his family. There's no issues. When his grandmother passed away, I reached out and we've just been that support system for each other in a very respectful way. Like,
Mm.
are you okay? Do you need to talk about it? That's
That's
it.
good.
But there was never any physical intimacy between him and I other than just like the basic kissing. It was very sweet and innocent because I was really, really young during that time. Um, but he's always had new relationships reach out to me. They'll message me on Facebook, Snapchat,
Yeah,
wherever, and try to be like, you need to delete his family. I don't appreciate you still having him as a friend on social media. And I'm like, this is the drama that I don't need. So, and I've even told him, you can delete me if you want. You can tell your family they can delete me, they can unfollow me, whatever the case is, if it's easier for you. Because
yeah,
for me, I don't feel like I have to because your family is so sweet. They send me happy birthdays every year. They send
yeah,
me Merry Christmas, Happy
That's
Thanksgiving.
beautiful.
They're just super nice people. This last time, I I did say I'm gonna unfollow you from the main
yeah.
social media platform that he has. So I deleted him because I couldn't deal with the new relationship that he
Hmm.
has. She's having his child. I'm not gonna
Right.
deal with that. So I'm like, out of sight, out of mind. But I do think that when you start a new relationship, if you allow some people into your life, it doesn't really allow you to focus on your new partner. And there's also that I can get where the people get upset, like we've been in a relationship. Now you have her as your friend still. Is there still something there? And
Right.
it can cause that doubt. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't, I don't think I want to be your friend. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like,
So many.
we're
So
okay.
many people. So many people. I don't know how you guys feel, but they believe that male female relationships are they're just sexual, and there's no way you can just be friends with someone. I
Yeah.
think it's just the craziest statement.
And my husband is one of those who truly believes that females and males cannot be friends because in his state of
Hmm.
mind, all a man wants is to get in a woman's pants. And it's like I tell him, okay,
Right.
that is your state of mind, that's your thought process, or maybe how the majority of men think. At least for me, most women that I know, and in, for my own personal opinion, we don't go into relationships thinking, "Ooh, I'm going to sleep with that guy." I'm not saying there's not
Mm.
women who think that way because maybe there is. It comes in every shape and form. Um,
Hmm.
women can be like, oh, I want to get to him or whatever. But in reality, I feel that men's stance with, oh, you can't be friends with the female, or this whole female male friendships, it's bad because, or it's not good, or it could never exist because it's always going to turn sexual. And I can
Mm-hmm.
attest to that and be like, no, for me, I have friends that I still talk to from high school, junior high, and it has nothing to do. We've never, if it was in their mind, they never made it known to me. Like they never touched me inappropriately. They never made stupid comments or so, is it possible? Yeah, that's all they want. But I also feel that you can have a healthy relationship within a female and a male, whether they were exes or not.
For sure.
Going back to our initial, if
Yeah.
it was egocentric or if there was a lot of emotion involved, I think that's where you cannot be friends with them, because then it's going to set that expectation and that doubt. And from the new partner, well, why are you still talking to them? Why are they part of your family if you and this
Right.
person ended it? So,
Yeah. Tricky.
hmm
A lot of
Hmm.
gray area.
Yeah, like majority of my friends in high school were boys. Like majority of
Mm.
them were
yeah, same.
male. It didn't really,
Right.
but I love sports and I've been in sports my whole life. So for me, it like was something that I could relate to when it came to a lot of my guy friends. A lot of my girlfriends were more so like, let's go to the mall. And I'm like, I don't really like shopping. I was not that type of
Walk
teenager.
Mm-hmm.
around.
I
Yeah.
liked going to the movies. I liked to play sports. That was my thing. And so I think I gravitated more towards that. But I've had a couple of friends who in high school, I thought we were just friends and they kept flirting with me. I would never catch it until like way
Someone
later.
else
And I'm
did.
like, no, we're friends. We're
Yeah.
friends. And it's just stayed that way. And even some of them I do talk to now, but it's never been disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Just in some of the relationships that I've had, that particular one that I felt like was the most innocent one was the one that I thought I could have for potentially pretty much all my life if I needed a support
Mm-hmm.
system, and
Yeah.
I realized it was wrong. I was like,
Oh.
nah, we can't. Out of respect for everybody's family, like we cannot be friends.
We
And
count that,
even though there
France.
was no, and we have a saying in Spanish, donde hubo fuego, cenizas quedan, which is
hmm
like where there was fire, ashes remain. So
Mm.
it's
hmm
kind of like, and even our grandma is one of those people who does not think that you can be friends with somebody of the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
And she does not think that you can be friends with your ex. She's very
Mm.
much like, close the door and throw away the key.
Yeah, like John
Do
said,
not
he
go
burns
back into
bridges.
that like realm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he burns bridges, but my grandma's more so, I'm gonna lose the key to the door forever.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be missing. I don't know how
But
many
that
doors she has.
I'd say though that that statement is attached very much or most often to a very tradicional
See.
philosophy on
hmm
romance and relationships in general.
Yes.
And there's people out there that are casually hooking up and they are roommates with their exes and they live
Yeah.
in New York and have 7 boyfriends and girlfriends and people just come and go and see they don't care about any of that. Like as long as it's not a toxic relationship, we're all friends.
hmm
So that's the exact opposite. Your grandma and then these heathens
Yeah.
over here in New York. And
But
then
see,
there's a
I
gray
also
area
feel
in
because,
between. So,
yeah, and I feel that because they probably weren't so emotionally attached. I mean, it was probably just like a friendship, and then they did love each other.
mhm,
But I don't think when you can go through all of that and just have another relationship and be roommates, to me that would be hard because eh,
mhm.
you know if there was emotion, because to me I think what
Yeah.
holds on to a relationship is your emotions. Like you're there for each other
Yeah.
through thick and thin, regardless of the length of a relationship. Whatever you give and bring into that relationship, I feel that, especially emotions involved, makes it harder to detach. Um,
For sure.
it's just crazy to me because honestly, again, I do truly believe that you can be friends with an ex. However, if it was a relationship that was so emotionally invested and you gave so much for that person, whether it be even a career, an education, hey, you do you first and we'll do this, and then it just goes south. I feel like that would be hard
Hmm.
to maintain a friendship because it's like, how can we even be friends if when we were friends to begin with and then during the relationship it all fell apart? The emotions are just, to me, it's more of the emotional attachment versus being physical
Right.
with somebody. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
Yeah.
because you can
Well,
have
I'm in the
sex,
same boat
you
as
know?
you.
Yeah,
Mostly, I'm in the same boat as you. Your intentions going in are if it's going to affect what comes out. And most of the time, when I'm dating someone, I'm really choosy with who I date.
mhm,
And like I said before, I kind of go all in. And usually, it's like we're gonna find out whether or not we're gonna stay together. That's my goal. Figure
yeah,
out whether or not we're gonna stay together for the whole ride. And a lot of folks don't hook up that way. They just hook up, or they go on a few
Hmm.
dates, and it's a lot more casual. There's no intent.
yeah,
No, I'm not saying like I'm gonna do the wife questionnaire with you on date 3, but like I'm still I'm always just moving towards that goal of
that
trying to
long
find
term.
the
Yeah,
the lasting relationship. Yeah. So when we're
Yeah.
doing that and then we break up, for me it's like, okay, well that didn't work. My life is gonna go a whole different direction now, and you don't fit there. Like you can't ride this train anymore. That's a stupid way to say
yeah, but
it.
yes. Well, it's true. They say, oh, the train. No.
No, I get it. Yeah.
What was the
No, go
longest?
ahead.
No, I was going to ask you, Maya, like, do you feel that since you said earlier, because there is some type of physical intimacy, it would be harder to let go of a person or to actually um, hold on to them. Like instead of like you had said earlier with your first relationship, you still remain friends with his family, and he still followed and you followed, but you guys didn't really have a relationship. Just like with his family, do you feel that if it would have been more of a physical and intimate in that sense of a relationship, it would have been easier for you to let go when the relationship ended, like let go of the family and of him, or harder?
I think if it had been physical to that level where we're pretty much
Hmm.
letting each other in fully, like it would have been harder to let go of his family and of him because that at that point know me. Like you don't just
Hmm.
know my interests, my dislikes. You know me on a deeper level.
You've touched
And
bellies.
I would feel
Yeah,
yeah, I would feel more difficult being like, I can't see your next person with your family. That would hurt because in my mind that's where I would want to be.
Hmm.
But
yeah,
since there was none of that, it's more like we were friends before, right? We started out as
yeah.
friends.
That's usually
So
how
his
it all
family
starts.
already kind of knew me, you know? So it's like, all right,
Hmm.
cool, we can be friends. But even when, so I saw a movie on Prime called Xmas. It's EX forward
Oh,
slash mass where they were engaged
hmm,
and she broke up the engagement, but she didn't want to leave his family. Like she loved his family. And when he says, I can't go home for Christmas because of a work thing, his family invites her to Christmas
Hmm.
in their
hmm,
like neck of the woods at their home. He goes
Oh.
home to surprise his family,
and she's
and
there.
his
Oh.
ex fiance is there. I'm like, no, no. See, that's when
No.
me as a person, I gotta step away from your family. Like, I may
Yeah,
love your family, but I broke up the engagement with you. I can't go to have Christmas at your
yeah,
family's
yeah,
house. That's just not appropriate.
Hmm.
So it's one of those things where I'm like, nah, there's levels. If you were never like physically intimate with somebody, yeah, sure, maybe you can be social media friends to a certain extent, but if there's ever a boundary that's crossed or someone feels disrespected, then that's when you kind of have to like close that door.
Hmm.
But if it was if we knew each other on a much deeper level, I can't be friends with you. And I'm probably going to have to
Yeah.
say goodbye to
and I
your
feel
family
that when
because I
there's
don't want to
Yeah.
children
be
involved,
disrespectful.
it's different. I
Oh,
feel that
sure.
when children are involved and
Absolutely.
you break up, we're always going to be part of that person's life for the rest of our days because we share children in common. But I've seen and heard and stories where the woman, the ex-wife or ex whatever who has children with this person will still show up to birthday parties or whatnot because the sisters or the mother-in-law invited this person and then the husband's now or ex-husband's now with somebody else and that person's there. I honestly think it's wrong. Go drop off your babies or let them celebrate them and go say hi if you want to or have them come say hi. But for you to stay there and be a part of those celebrations, you are no longer, your kids are part of that family. You are not. Do you know what I mean? I feel that a lot of people try to fill a spot in people's lives that no longer belongs to them. So
Hmm.
I also feel that it's wrong of our families to continue to have or try to have some type of relationship with our exes if we're not going to be there. Oh, yeah, come over or have dinner or we're
Hmm.
celebrating the baby's birthday, but so and so's not going to be here. Just come. I find that very disturbing because let's just say my husband and I do ever separate. We have four boys and that we share. And so will it hurt me to know that the new person's there and they're having a great time? Yes, of course. But that place is no longer mine, So I feel that
Hmm.
um, that other person has to understand that I will always be part of situations and part of whatever the family's planning because my kids are involved. But I don't have to be there, And some women have to be there. Oh,
Right.
it's my son's birthday. I got to be there. So no, like get away, drop off your baby, say
Hmm.
hello if, because you shared so many years with this person. But I've seen a lot of situations where the woman or the ex-wife uh, are still attending family functions and with
Hmm.
the other person there. And
Inserting themselves into the.
yeah, I honestly, okay, you had a healthy or breakup or whatnot, but you are no longer part of the family. Your children are, and they will be forever. But I feel that you'll always be in their lives because you're their mother, and you will always be in your ex's life because you have to communicate, even when they're adults. I feel that it never ends. When we have kids, our kids are our kids till they're grown, you know. But
Hmm.
you had mentioned a word earlier that's used a lot, being in a toxic relationship. And I feel that nowadays, a lot of these kids are in very toxic relationships because it's like, oh, you did this to me, I'm going to do this to you. Oh, this is this, and I'm going to do
Hmm.
that. And I feel that
Hmm.
they don't appreciate a good relationship or they don't appreciate what the actual meaning of a relationship is. You had said earlier, it's just very casual. Oh, we're together. Oh, we're together for 3 months and now we're roommates, but I have a new boyfriend and he's dating this girl. And it's like, how? Like, I till this day do not understand how that works.
Well, yeah. So in that, I think this goes to breakups and after breakup relationships. I have experience there just because my parents divorced when I was in first grade,
Mm-hmm.
and so they did their business and made sure we were always okay. That
Yes.
was their agreement, and they honored it. And now they don't talk; they never will. They were at my wedding, and they just walked by each other, but that's fine. Like it's not a hatred thing. It's just like your life's over there, my life's over here. We don't need to communicate as much
Mhm.
anymore.
Yeah.
Um, where was I going? Oh yeah. So that's part of breakups too. I think the relationship needs to be honored. The agreement needs to be honored even after the fact.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'm not sure how I feel about it now in retrospect, but like when my ex-wife and I decided to split up for good, it wasn't. I'm not going to say reasons why and all this stuff, but it
Right,
wasn't
right,
great. And
right.
so I though I was kind of the provider mainly for the family, or
Mm-hmm.
just me and her. But like I still wanted to honor the fact that she needs to be at least put on her feet somewhere else. So I did everything I could to make sure she could get an apartment somewhere. I watched the dogs. We had a dog together. Watched the
Oh,
dog
okay.
for a while, and well, I even sent her some money sometimes just to make sure she was straight. Okay, now you're good over there. Now we're done. I'll see you later. And I moved. and
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
change states. But um, that goes to with birthday parties, and there's the stepmom involved, and all these things. Like you do have to still honor that agreement. Like,
Yes.
why are you going to be petty, and why are you going to like try to hurt someone? Why are we
Yes.
trying to hurt each other? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I agree
Mhm.
with that. You should be like respectful of each other and understand like, oh, I'm the new one here and I do this. No, like, okay, we have a history together, but you're with this person now. We share kids together. It's a birthday party. Let's be nice to each other. Like, I'm dropping off the babies. There's no competition here. Because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
us women, I feel, we let our ego take over in that sense of competition. Oh, well, he's doing this with her and he never did this with me. And he's doing this for, and then with
Mm.
men, oh, she's going to go over there and just fuck everybody. You know, it's like, I feel like there's just this energy that's just crazy nasty because you said something very important, Josh. We don't honor our agreement or our previous, our vows or what
Right.
we had spoken about. So, and when we get angry in the heat of the moment, we say and do things just to hurt somebody else, not realizing that it's actually affecting us as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've seen, at least I feel like I have, because our eldest nephew, his mom, and our cousin got together very young. They were really young when they had our eldest nephew. Things didn't work out. She would come to family gatherings every now and then, not all the time, but birthdays, like we think we only celebrated like two or one of my nephew's birthdays with like a combined family. And after that, it was just kind of like everyone do their own thing because she got a new partner, had another child
Mhm.
with that new partner. He moved on, had another child with a different partner. But
Mm.
she would still come every now and then and not stay for long. She would just come for like maybe a couple hours, or
Yeah.
sometimes she would use that as her last stop to come and see her son for the holiday because her son always spent the holidays with us majority of the time. So it was
Mhm.
more, I want to be with my kid. She
Yeah.
wasn't there to be with our cousin. She wanted to be with her kid.
Right.
And my grandma loves her. I think that's the only exception that my grandma has when it comes to people can still be friends with your family is her. So like we've seen that, and that was great, but you couldn't when you can see that there's a difference, right? There's that respect for the families, but they're both there for their kid. I think
Hmm.
that that can be done sometimes, but it also depends
Yeah.
on the individual. So if it's like, for example, your parents, they got divorced and at your wedding, they were just hi and that's it. They both went to their own respective
Mm-hmm.
corners and or wherever it was in the wedding venue and
Hmm.
socialized with their own people. There's certain situations where that's what benefits them. That's what helps them, what they're content with. Great, as long as they're respectful and not disrespecting someone. But I feel like nowadays, a lot of the toxic things that we see is because people don't take the time to court somebody anymore. Now it's like
Oh.
you've been on 3 dates, we going together already. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we just went on 3 dates. Like, you don't even really, really know me. I could
Right.
be a tree monster in the morning with like eye boogers everywhere, bad coffee breath, and a really bad attitude in the morning. And you don't know that about me because we've only been on
Mm-hmm.
3 dates.
3 dates, you haven't
But,
even stayed the night over yet. If it's me.
right.
Yeah. No. Hmm.
So it's like those are the ones that I feel like have the most toxicity, if that's even the way to put it,
Hmm.
Absolutely.
because they don't take the time to court. So that when they break up, it's explosive and it's this big dramatic thing,
Right.
which
Right.
breakups I think technically are dramatic and loud and sometimes very,
They
very,
can be.
very
Yeah.
angry.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Sure can.
yeah, but I'm like, how long do you court somebody to be able to get to know them and then decide to be in a relationship?
Mm.
And how long do you try to stay cordial with somebody after the relationship's ended? Because it's going to be
Okay.
awkward either way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'm kind of. I think I'm a lot like you. I, I tend to draw things out. Like I need to find out who you are first, because like I said, I'm looking for the long term thing, so I don't want to
Yeah.
waste my time.
Yeah.
So if I find out that you're uh, voting for Trump, for instance, like we're just not going to talk. It's okay. Like you go over there, I'll go over here. It's fine. Um, and that see
I'm
that's an
I'm
easy breakup right there.
Yeah, it is.
What do you say?
Because I said I'm voting for Bernie Sanders.
That's great, me too. But that's just one of my red flags. You know what I mean? So you got to check the boxes for all your supposed hypothetical red
Mhm.
flags, and then find out what kind of person this is and what they got going on and what they have in mind for the future and stuff like this. And then even then, now you're just in the door. That was the audition. Let's find out if we can do hobbies together or go hiking. Like, what are you like when you're really tired? Like I got to find all that stuff
Yeah,
out.
yeah. But see, I've noticed too. I mean, I've been with my husband for almost 27 years, married for 24 now. But my thing is the way I see things now, and I work with a lot of kiddos, that range in age, and then my boys are teenagers, and I got two little ones. I feel that nowadays people they say that they move too fast. They move like too fast. Oh, we've been dating for a month and we're going to get married and we're going to do this. And people have a lot of like, oh, no, no. But it's like Maya said, how long do you really court before, you understand or that this person could be long term? My perspective is sometimes, I know as stupid as it may sound, sometimes it literally only takes 1 to 2 dates or conversations with someone for you to kind of know. Because
Sometimes.
how can I put it? Like Maya said, yeah, you don't know if I'm going to be like this tree monster or whatnot, but some of us develop stuff throughout the years. Do you know what I mean? Because of the
Hmm.
relationship that we are in or that we thought we did have. And so we don't have these certain traits or things until maybe years later because this other person brings them out of us and we didn't even know they were there. So
Yeah.
honestly, I feel that there's no time frame. I feel that you can love somebody or connect with somebody literally instantaneously. Not so much, maybe yeah, love at first sight, because a lot of people do fall in love with someone's physical appearance, but it could also be the
Hmm.
energy they give you, the way they speak to other people, the way they behave
Hmm.
or they act or they do things. And I feel that, at least for me, I'm more of an energy person. Like I'll feel your vibe. And if, I like you, we can be best friends for the rest of our lives, or, or I'm going to
Hmm.
like you, but at a distance. So
Sure.
with this is my perspective is I don't think you have to court or date someone for a specific amount of time to kind of know. But it's like Josh said, you have like your checklist. We're going to go through this, and that. And then because I'm aiming for the long term. Now, if after a few times we've spoken or hung out, we don't feel this, then it's a no, like,
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And but like you said, sometimes the key just fits all the way in the lock, like not sexually, I'm saying, but like you can like
for me,
look someone in
I'm
the
just kidding.
eyes after.
I always go there.
Well, like it goes through. It just you can see all the way into someone. You make a certain amount of eye contact and have
Literally.
half a conversation, and you can tell like, oh, so we're gonna go together, right? Like
Yeah,
it's just one of those things that sometimes it does work like that. Yeah, but even then,
Mhm.
hopefully you're emotionally mature enough to be conscious of the fact that you might be rushing things and blah blah blah. Let's try to
yeah.
keep it slow, even though I'm pretty sure I'm in love with you.
Yeah. But see, I also do feel that sexually, you do need, I'm not saying you got to try everyone, but if you feel like you have this connection with someone, you should like be intimate sexually, because intimacy comes in so many different ways.
Never.
Hey, let's talk about this. Hey, let's sit down and watch a movie and drink a beer or a glass of wine. That's intimacy as well. But sexually, I honestly feel that after a while, if you feel this connection, you should try it. Because, homegirl, let me tell you, if after you've dated for so long, then you marry this person and then you're going to be like, okay, was that it? And then there's no connection there. Because to me, in a relationship, long term, sex is very important. It is very important. It's not the
Mhm.
most important thing in a relationship by any means, but it is very important because that also helps you guys connect on a different level.
Mm. Clara believes in test driving pretty much. Like that's
Well,
what I
yeah.
gather from
See,
that.
I went through high school and stuff, being a born again Christian, and I was all about virginity until,
Yeah,
or abstinence at least until
abstinence.
marriage.
Yeah,
I'm not that way anymore. Like,
but-
I'm not saying we got to bone on the first or second date. Like,
right.
I do. I've been known to put that off as long as possible just to make sure, because that's when things get weird, or that's when
Yes,
things change. Like, no
yes.
matter what, things are different now that we've had sex. So I try to get as much as I can sometimes before that happens, but you
Mm-hmm,
have to test drive. What if your man is insecure in bed?
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
a billion other things that could happen.
Yeah,
25 toes. What happens
yeah.
then?
You know,
You know?
Mm.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's.
It's
That's why I tell you, I'm not encouraging you to be like, oh, let me taste this one when I go out. No, but I feel that emotionally you can connect with someone when you go on a date. Like you'll know after like 2 or 3 dates if it can go further. And then maybe in the future, whenever you decide you are ready, because it doesn't have to happen right away. Because I feel like connection,
mm.
you start feeling things right away to me. Like you're iffy, but then later on, I do feel like you got to test drive. We were brought up Catholic. Oh no, you have to stay a virgin until you get married. Surprise, that didn't work.
Mm.
But still. But
Grandma,
I'm
thank
glad I
God she's
test
not
drove.
listening
I
to
am
this and she
very
doesn't
glad
give a
I
shit.
test drove.
No, I so for me, and then I saw this TikTok that really put it into perspective about like the whole relationships thing because he's
Mhm.
like, if we're talking, it's like you're in my cart. We're already going together. I just haven't purchased yet. And I'm like,
Oh, I
nah,
saw something
no.
like that.
That
Yeah.
you need to check out before you get any of like the actual benefits of being in a relationship. For
Mm-hmm.
me, we have to talk
Mhm.
about what are we. It's not just, oh, we've been talking and we've been dating and we don't even know what we are yet. No one's officially said it. No, like
Oh,
you
jeez,
gotta
that
let me
label
Yeah,
know
stuff.
where you're at. Like
that's how it is now. Like,
we're
oh, I don't have to
we're
tell
in a
you you're my girlfriend.
relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, no, you
Right.
gotta tell me if we're in a relationship or not because I'm a lot like Josh. I'm looking for long term. I'm not
Yeah.
looking just for a short term thing. If I was
Yes.
looking for a short term thing, then yeah, sure, whatever. I can care less. But I'm looking for the long haul. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, for example, I dated this guy. Well, I thought I was dating this guy for about like 9 months, because we had been talking, and he mentioned on a comment, he said, "Oh, my girlfriend likes that type of stuff," and I'm like, "Oh my god, he called me his girlfriend," and we had already been talking for a while, and this was still my early college years, so I was all excited that he talked about me as if I was his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I get back from college and he's completely gone. Like, no messages, no replies. I invited him to my graduation party, no nothing. I'm like, all
Dang.
right, so this is ghosting. I'm experiencing ghosting now.
Yeah, you got it
Instead of like
early.
an actual breakup, now, now
Wow.
I'm experiencing ghosting. And I reached out, said, hey, like, I thought we had a good connection here just for closure. Like, what were we? If we were talking for 9 months and you said that when I came back from school, we were going to go to movies, we were going to go do certain things, and then you completely disappear. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
I really did like you. And then that was it. I'm like, all right, cool. So this is like,
Well, at least that happened. Yeah, that's
right.
I hate that part of early relationships, or some people are just so terrified of putting a label on it. So yeah, if we made out more than once, like, we're
We're
together.
we're
You
together.
know what I
Hmm.
mean? Yeah, if you don't want to call me your boyfriend, or if you don't want to say that we're in any more than just talking, whatever that means, that's just an excuse for you to lie and feel no guilt about it. You know what I mean? So you're seeing other people, you do or don't tell me you're doing that. You know, if you're playing the field, that's fine, as long as I know. And
Hmm.
then that, yeah, not putting a label on it means I'm allowed to do whatever I want in those
Yeah.
people's eyes. So
Yep.
that's how he played you,
Hmm.
unfortunately, and things
Hmm.
like that have happened to me, and it's just an excuse to lie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even when you do have a
And it's
label,
even we
people play you.
yeah. But even like T. Roy said in our last episode, he said that, he doesn't give everyone the title. He hasn't given many women the title.
Mm,
Hmm.
I do think that that's an excuse to kind of omit information to the other person and for you
Mm-hmm.
to go and be with multiple people when you don't give
Mm-hmm.
someone the title. Because how are you supposed to introduce them to your friends? Like if you go out, you'd be like, oh, this is so and so,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
by
but
your
you've been
first
seeing
name.
each other for like a year.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
been naked together.
Yeah. It
This is
I'm
my
telling you,
naked
a lot of
partner,
these
My
women,
naked partner.
it's my naked partner. No, a lot of women or young girls now, that's what I'm saying. Like this generation is so different. You know, their standards, their boundaries, their everything. Like they're just, I don't know. I just feel that their expectations are so unrealistic about being in a relationship. And
Hmm.
so many kids I see now. Okay, I'll give you an example. My son, who's 17, he's in a relationship right now. And I feel like this one's a little bit healthier than the one he had when he was in junior high. That was a 2 year relationship. It went to his mid junior high into his sophomore year in high school. Toxic. They had to be on the phone. They had to FaceTime without talking to each other.
Mm-mm.
He just carried his phone
And
around
just
so
yeah.
she can hear and see what he's doing. And a lot of these kids nowadays, a lot of my students, I hear them having these conversations, especially my little sixth graders. And that's what they do. They take their Chromebooks because a lot of them don't have phones, but they take their Chromebooks and they're on the Google Meets and they're just there. They're helping do laundry or doing homework, and the kids are just watching, like listening to each other or watching a blank screen. That to me, that is so unhealthy and so toxic because what type of life are you really having if you can't
Yeah.
just like not? I don't know. I'm so weirded out by the way this generation's seeing a relationship or courting
Yeah.
or dating or she's my girlfriend or he's my boyfriend. Like, and
Yeah.
nowadays, you know what I did notice though, Josh and Maya, they pass the boyfriend or the girlfriend around in their little friend group. Oh,
The
Anthony's with so
Kardashian
and
that's what.
so. Anthony's dating so and so. They date for like a month or two, and then oh, now Anthony is dating. You know,
Oh, you talking
well,
about like high school kids and such?
they're little kids, sixth graders.
Oh, that's nothing. Sixth
Yeah,
graders are stupid. Like,
I know, but even no, well, yeah, they are. But I'm saying it's starting so young now that even in the high
yeah,
school, like my son tells me stories about a lot of a few of his guy friends that like pass a girl around, and it's like then they're not friends. Like you can't do that. There's a bro code and there's a girl code. Like you guys don't know about this? Like, you know, like with girls too. Like you don't go with your friend's ex-boyfriend, no matter if you loved him or liked
yeah.
him before. Like that's what I'm saying. Like this
That goes
generation I
back to
noticed,
those.
yeah,
Go
they're
ahead.
off.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying this generation I've noticed that they're just off. Like they don't put any value into anything. Like it's so toxic.
Hmm.
Like they just either they want you 100% of the time at your attention, or it's like, oh, you know what, you can be with so and so now, or you can be with so and so, and it's like there's no feelings really, no, I don't know. They're just
Hmm.
weird.
There's no respect or trust.
No.
Yeah, and I hate to be the old guy there, and I know we're probably way off topic now, right? But not really. But but, you got to give the kids a break. You know, some of them were in quarantine during prom, or
Hmm.
or sixth grade, like you say, like. And then on top of just having a weird life in general, being born at a weird time, all this content, this media from all angles, no matter what, is getting shoved down these kids' throat. And the algorithm will catch a few of them and just tell them all this relationship advice. That's probably BS or non
Hmm.
applicable to
Mm.
you. And
Mm-hmm.
like that's some, I hate to be the old guy again, but like something I really miss about the old days is when you
Yeah.
had to just figure something out. You know, like
Yep.
the internet has no, should have no weight on the way that you carry yourself in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Advice is
True.
nice, but like you got to figure that stuff out for yourself. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, that was a dumb rant.
No, no, no. And
I'm the
it's true.
type that
I
still
mean, but
makes
it
a
does
pro
have a
con
lot to do
list.
with what we're talking about, like healthy breakups and stuff like that, because then you'll know, again, you'll get a perspective as to where that's leading in the relationship. Is it going to be
Mm-hmm.
a toxic breakup? Is it going to be a breakup that's healthy? Is it going to be a breakup where they just ghost you and it's like, okay, they didn't even say bye? You know what I mean? Like, I feel that this
Mm-hmm.
generation, because yes, of quarantine did affect our kids a lot. But being in education, I do notice that like a lot of my parents are going through divorces right now.
Mm-hmm.
There it's very toxic. So I feel that it's impacting these kids on such a mental and emotional level where
Yeah.
they're not going to take a relationship seriously. You know, mom got cheated on, or mom's this, or dad has a new
Oh, I
girlfriend and a
hate
new
it.
baby, and it's just crazy. So again, I feel that with breakups, it's just really hard because I feel that emotions and egos are too involved in our decisions. That sometimes
Yeah,
it can have either a positive effect or a negative effect, depending on where we stand.
for
Yeah, I
sure.
think for patterns are what people are learning now, and that's what we're seeing a lot when it comes to youth this generation is there's a lack of trust and the sometimes the insecurities do kind of take over. That's why you have to answer my text right when I text you. You didn't answer right away. You didn't
Mm-hmm.
call me back after I called
Mm-hmm.
you, and it's like I could be busy. I could be like completely busy at work, trying to make money to be able to support myself financially, or I could be with a family member or with a friend. I could be doing something where I'm not necessarily being able to access my phone right now. And it shouldn't be
Hmm.
that big of a deal, but there's that lack of trust and that lack of
Yeah.
I'm secure with the person who I'm with. And I think that transfers over to breakups because
Mm-hmm.
what's a healthy breakup? I'm scared to have somebody come to my house and I'll be like, by the way, it's not working out, this isn't gonna go anywhere. And then what happens if he breaks half my shit? Like that's just not gonna,
Mm.
Yeah.
you don't know how the other person's gonna react. So even now we have texting and people will break up through people with others through text. I'm more of like, do I want to call you and just say, look, I'm feeling this kind of way. So that way we can actually have a conversation about it and see if it's even worth fixing. If it's not, then that's when we both kind of can agree, but we're not
Mm-hmm.
in the physical proximity of each other, just in case someone gets a little bit upset. Just I don't know what a healthy breakup would be because typically there is a lot of emotions and you're hurting me, you don't understand, I don't get it. Why are we breaking up? I felt this way and it's just
Mm-hmm.
a lot. So for me, a lot of those patterns are learned young. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
my parents are still together, but I heard about how hard my mom made my dad's initial, attempt to try
Oh.
to woo her and that they've stayed together, but that's just kind of like okay, so I can use that as an example for what I want for myself. Not exactly the same thing because I mean, we're different times. We no longer have pagers. So it's different, but I just don't know what can we consider a healthy breakup and how would it be healthy to even stay friends with somebody
I think
when
I,
there
s-
was emotions.
I think I sort of had a healthy breakup with my ex-wife, kind of, because well, like we had a screaming fight a
Yeah.
couple days prior. It was a
Mm,
scream fight,
Hmm.
whatever. And then
It happens.
a day goes by, maybe a week goes by, and we just sit down in the morning coffee and we just start crying. We're like, we're done, right? And yeah, we're done. So we held hands for a minute. We talked about what we're gonna do, the escape plan or whatever. I told her that I help her through it. So it was actually, I'd say that's the healthiest way. Another way I
Yeah.
did it with a way young girlfriend, like
Sugar.
post high school, but that's about like 18 years old. I knocked on her door, gave her flowers, and I said, "I don't want a girlfriend," and I left. I'm so regretful for that.
Talk about drama. It's like, and
Josh, why
like,
would
I'm
you
so
give her
confused. Okay,
flowers?
wait, I get a flower and he
Yeah,
breaks
what
up
do I
with
do with the
me.
flowers now?
No, and you know what, Josh?
These
You're
are
so
breakup flowers.
I
Now
was
I
gonna
gotta
give
watch
that
them
example.
die. Like,
Yeah, right. This is just basically how it's gonna go. But in terms of a
Oh,
healthy
sorry.
breakup, Maya, I was gonna
But we're
bring
still
that up.
friends.
That that's good. See, that's healthy. I was gonna say
oh
the
God, healthy
example
breakups
Josh gave
flowers.
us earlier about his divorce or separation. To me, that sounded healthy. Maybe what led to it could have been something explosive or toxic. Like you said, no details
Mhm.
needed to be said, but something will bring us to that point. But the way you let go of it, that's what makes it healthy, I feel. And so like he said, he was still there for her and he honored the fact that, he helped her get back on her feet and was there for her, even if it was for a temporary emotional level or, hey, I'm going to make sure you got this to buy food or whatever it may be. I feel that that's a healthy breakup. When you're still amicable, respectful of each other, and then let each other part
Mhm.
ways when you need to. That is a
Yeah,
healthy
Mhm.
and that
breakup
goes
for
into
me.
the agreement, like what are we and stuff. Like that was my wife, and I want to do what I was supposed to do as a husband, and
Yeah,
make sure this is just a clean break and everyone's okay.
yeah,
That's when you go into a relationship. That's the same talk you should be having, hopefully, at the breakup if it goes
yeah,
okay. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
not giving someone the title. That just means you don't have to answer the phone sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you ain't got the title
Mm.
yet. Like, okay, that just
yeah, 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 yeah.
that just means you. It's not necessarily lying there. You're just ignoring her sometimes, and you don't
Yes,
feel
yes,
bad.
yes, agree.
They have no shame in their game because they don't feel bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like our consensus overall with these last two episodes is it depends. It's a case by case scenario. It's not a one for all, right?
Yeah,
So,
Hmm.
but as long as boundaries are respected and you have to know where your boundaries are. At least that's
Right.
what I'm getting from it. But Josh and I are a lot more similar as to where you don't want to have nothing to do with you anymore. It's just goodbye. Like we move on. He burns bridges. I just close the door.
yeah.
Clara's just, I'll be here.
I'll be here.
You-
So,
Yeah. So, I mean, it's good. I know now that breakup flowers are a thing. Thanks,
I
Josh.
was just gonna say thanks, Josh, for that. I shall be expecting
Yeah.
some maybe.
Yeah.
Now I know not to take a breakup without some flowers.
Yeah, or some food or something.
Food.
Here's
Food
a
and
sandwich.
flowers.
I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
Would you eat it?
I would.
I don't know.
Yes.
It would be a sad.
Like, what do you
First of
want?
all, that's hurtful because food is comfort. And now you're telling
Yeah.
me
Well,
I don't
that's
want to
why
Yeah,
make
if it
you
they're
gives
feel
you
giving
just
you
a
the
guilty.
real
food
nice
smart one
torta,
to
like
comfort you after the breakup.
yeah, some barbacoa on a torta, like
Yes,
or a Cuban
please.
sandwich,
Oh,
like I
no.
would eat the hell out of that.
Same,
Like,
same.
okay, I'll accept your breakup. And then eat it
Yeah,
slowly while I'm crying.
yeah.
Bad rom-com, just
As they drive
dying.
off.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would. Food and flowers are always nice, but I would much rather take the food. I don't like the flowers that much. I'm a food girl. No flowers
Wa-
or coffee.
Watch me see somebody walk towards my house with flowers or with food, and I'm not opening the door. And they're like, "Why aren't you opening the door? I came over." Nope. I know what this is.
I know what you're doing.
I don't feel
Yeah.
like being sad while I eat a torta or being sad while I look at flowers. No.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys, if my phone keeps
Well,
vibrating. My kids keep texting me.
it's okay. Them children's. They need to get a life.
Okay.
Anywho's, thanks, Josh, for joining us on this little episode of
Very nice.
Breakups Part 2. I know you got to get going soon.
Yeah.
Um, but if there's one thing you could give somebody who's dealing with a hard breakup or trying to figure out how to break up with somebody that they're no longer interested in, what advice would you give?
Oh, you want to start with me? I would
Yeah.
say get moving. I spent a long time being sedentary and sorry for myself for stuff that wasn't even my fault. Just go move, get out there and work out. Or it's cliche, but it's true. Like, get healthy. That's the best
Mm-hmm.
revenge. Have a great life.
Mm-hmm.
Cutting off.
Yeah. And
Oh, well,
yeah. You Clara?
That, like, just move on. I mean, sit in it for a little bit and then just move on. Because you have to feel the feels, you know? But then just move on and figure out what you want to do next.
Yeah.
Okay. And as for me, you guys, I definitely say just try to be the best you that you can be. Don't focus on what you think may have been done
Yeah.
wrong. Just focus on how you can move forward in
Yeah.
the future. And Josh, I know that you said that there's a link tree for Gorp Show, but what do you have coming up that maybe people would be interested in tuning into?
Ooh, the Gorp Show is actually about to start a really cool bracket to find out what the best fast food franchise is. And we're going to go into some locals. We're going to talk about different types of tacos, etc. And we're going to do a real deal playoff bracket, and we're going to knock people off. I think the first episode coming soon is going to be burgers, burger joints.
Yes.
Mm,
Got it. Thank you. We'll
In-N-Out
definitely
Burger.
look into that. We'll tune in.
Gorp.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Gorp.
Gorp,
Right. Bye,
everyone.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one. Very nice meeting you.
You too.
Thanks for tuning in, mi gente. Remember to tell your friends to tell their friends so that way we can be friends. Con todo se puede hablar. Adiós. Bendiciones.